Hi guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the ModMic USB and the brand new ModMic Uni. Now what you can hear right now is actually coming from the ModMic Omni-directional microphone 4.0, so a little bit old school. Now in this video I'll be comparing all three mics, including the later generation ModMic 5, which has the switch between Uni and Omni-directional. Just as a quick FYI, Omni-directional basically means it surrounds has a better sound frequency and captures sounds from all sorts of different places, whereas unidirectional one, which is what the new one is as well, is positional towards your voice only and doesn't try and pick up external voices. And to demonstrate that, I'll try and play some music in the background so you guys can actually hear the differences. In terms of pricing wise, the USB one is $80, whilst the Uni is $50. So very much the old school 3.5mm jack variant is the cheaper one. In the UK, we haven't got official UK pricing at the time of making this video, but I've been told it's going to be coming at around the same US to dollar to pound conversion. So expect it to be £80 and £50 respectively. Now, just to give you a little quick mention of my setup, other than the USB mic, which will be plugged into my PC via USB input, the Uni mic will be plugged into a cheap USB sound card, which I've got, which I'll link down in the description below. The reason I use that is because my motherboard outputs a lot of static noise. It's still very much the same case with the ModMic Uni, the new one, and my omnidirectional 4.0 mod mic, and the USB sound card there eliminates any static noise, and I just use it for the microphone only, whilst the jack for my headphones go into my Cord Yugo 2 DAC, which is positioned on my desk over here. So that's been a long intro, but without further ado, let's get into this review. Now, before getting to recording quality tests, I do want to talk about the build quality of the two mics and what you get inside the box. Now, the audio you'll be able to hear right now is coming straight from my camera, so I do apologize for stereo imaging. Now, the two cases are slightly different because the USB variant has a kind of fabric design, whilst the older school style unidirectional one has a more traditional approach. Means that the unidirectional one is potentially easier to clean, whilst the USB variant looks nicer. Now, inside the box, both of them have a set of manuals, have an alcohol-free pad as well, a prep pad, sorry, and clasps so you can attach them to your headphones, and some extras there, so in case you put them to another headphone or have 2-3 headphones, for example. There's also a little cable tie parts, which mean it's a little bit more convenient to use if you're routing them around your PC. Speaking about routing them around your PC, what you'll see right now is a picture, and this picture is essentially all three microphones placed along my floor with a non-scientific test with a ruler there to show you kind of the differences between the three microphones. The three microphones, and by that I mean, is the omnidirectional one with a 2.7 to 3 meter long cable, whilst the new ones have a 2 meter long cable only. I say only because for me, routing them around under my keyboard and around the back of my PC is important, and in this case the 2 meter long cables aren't long enough for that to be the case. Now, in terms of terminations, it's pretty obvious. One has USB, one has 3.5mm jack. Moving on from that, you've got the actual cable thickness. Now, the cable thickness of the USB variant is a lot thicker, which is great for those people who think of kind of longevity. However, I've had no problems with my thin cabled omnidirectional mic. Now, the reason I mention this is because I like routing my cable under my keyboard, and unfortunately with the USB microphone, because it's thicker and just a little bit more grippier, it means that it doesn't fit underneath my keyboard as easily, which means that it's a little bit less convenient to use. So it's got its pros and cons. The unidirectional one, however, uses very much the same sort of cable as its predecessor, the omnidirectional or the unidirectional 4.0 mics, and in this case the cable is again a lot thinner, but in my opinion doesn't seem to be as well built as the older ones, but you know, that's purely subjective. Moving on from that, you've got the actual mic mute buttons. Now you can see straight away there is a difference. The unidirectional one has a old school kind of toggle, whilst the new one has a digital interface which has a red LED. Now the red LED itself isn't a problem as such. It's great to see it's actually muted when you press it. However, it can be distracting to the eye, especially if you're coming from, you know, a completely non-digital variant where you've got a slider. I should say that these two new variants both have bigger sliders than the original. The original, as you can see, is a lot smaller versus the new ones. Specifically, the unidirectional one, which really is absolutely ginormous in terms of a mic mute, which is a bit silly. Personally, I think this adds a little bit of extra weight, and to me it's on my left hand side, adds a little bit of extra weight for no needed reason, whilst a small little mic mute over here would have been far more appealing, at least to me, aesthetically and also practically. The ModMic USB kind of sits in between. Going on from that as well, there is also differences in terms of the stem that basically goes from the microphone to the actual cable that leads down to your PC. Now here, the stem on the USB microphone I think is pretty much perfect. It's got the right sort of ability to be adjusted. It's quite malleable, but then it's also quite rigid as well, so it sticks in its position. It's not going to move around. Comparing it to the old omnidirectional one, you can see over here it was far less reliable in terms of sticking to its position, but once you do get it in its position, it does stick there. So it kind of sits close to that, but a little bit more practical. So I like what Antline have done with the USB mic. However, the ModMic Uni is absolutely horrendous. The cable is super stiff, and as you can see right here, it's a little bit awkward to kind of get it in the right position that you want. Specifically, if you want to quickly adjust it, you won't be able to quickly adjust it because it really needs a lot of force. You can even hear my hands click there from actually trying to move it. The cable itself also looks different, and I'm personally just not a fan of it. Finally, moving on to the actual the microphones itself, the USB mic has a switch between omni and unidirectional modes. Essentially, there's a little toggle over here, very much like the ModMic 5.0, and a little toggle over here allows you to switch between the two modes. It's great to see that, and it's great to see its return on the USB mic, because people would like to use it in a noisy environment, but also if they're in a quieter environment, get better recording quality by switching it to the omnidirectional mode. As you might expect, the omni and unidirectional mode microphones don't have those mode switches. It's pretty obvious as to why, but nevertheless I just thought to mention it. Hi guys, so now we're back. Everything you can hear right now is coming from the ModMic. Now what I'm going to do is first of all test the ModMic 4.0 omnidirectional one, which is the one I'm speaking to you from right now. Then I'm going to move to the unidirectional one, and then the USB omni and then unidirectional modes. So first of all, we're going to mute the mic so you guys can hear if there's a mic mute whilst I then play around with the microphone. Hopefully that made sense. Essentially, there's no sort of mic mute sort of sound right there. In terms of the sound quality that you can hear via the microphone, it's actually very good. There's very little static noise, and so in order to give you a sort of a test so you can kind of compare it between the three microphones, now I'm going to do is play some music in the background, which is not going to change throughout the levels between the three microphones, so you guys can hear in terms of how it sounds in the background. So I'm going to be speaking while the music is playing, and the music is playing through my my speakers, which are in front of me. The music will be down linked in the description below. It's from my friend. And now I'm going to go quiet. So now with that test out the way, I'm then now going to be typing. So I'm going to type on the side. So I'm going to type a certain phrase, always the same thing. So that's me typing without any sound in the background. So now I'm going to speak while I'm doing this. Hi there, how are you doing? This is Chris and I'm testing the mic. So I kind of failed in some spelling with the secondary one, but then at least it gives you an idea of how the microphone picks up a keyboard while I'm actually speaking. And now we are back with the ModMic Uni. So now straight away you'll be able to see that the cable is kind of extended across my desk, where it's with the omnidirectional one it was routed, so further emphasizing the point of the kind of shortish cable. So now you'll be able to hear the sound quality that you're getting from this unidirectional one. It doesn't sound as open and as nice as the omnidirectional version. So straight away I could tell the difference when I was listening to the differences. responses. It also does sound a tad bit quieter. I'm not sure why. Again, it's plugged into the same USB sound card, and I'm going to be given the exact same treatment in my video editing software, so it just seems a little bit quieter for some given reason. But now we're just going to go in the test of listening to music in the background. Again, the volume hasn't changed on my speakers, which are placed in front of me, and I'm speaking to you via the ModMic unidirectional one. And now I'm going to go quiet. So there's a little test. So hopefully the unidirectional one does come out as what I did in my previous test, that it picks up less environmental sound, so it picks up less of my friend's voice coming out through my speakers. However, what you'll sacrifice there is, as I said before, the actual recording quality. And now I'm going to type. So first of all, I'm going to go quiet and type. And now secondary test is me speaking whilst typing. Hi there, how are you doing? This is Chris and I'm testing the mic. So hopefully the unidirectional one there, as it did in my test before that I shot all of these videos, that it came out a little bit more muffled to the environmental sounds, but yet my voice is coming out a little bit clearer. In clearer, I mean it's more at the foreground rather than kind of being mixed in with the environmental sounds. Now everything you can hear right now is coming from the ModMic USB omnidirectional mode. So straight away the sound quality is probably improved from the unidirectional mic that I just tested. So also just to demonstrate the mic mute function, so I'm going to mute the I'm going to continue to speak. So hopefully over there you're able to hear a quiet mute function that comes in to play. I think I forgot to do it with the unidirectional one, but again, I have no sort of clicking sound or popping sound that occurs when I mute the mic physically or digitally. Again, the cable is short, so again, further emphasizing the fact that it runs across my desk rather than around. So just like the other microphones, I'm going to do the same tests, and then I'm going to redo them again with the unidirectional mode on the USB mic. So first of all, I'm going to play some music while I'm going to speak. Again, it's on the same volume as it was before. Nothing has changed. And I did find that when I was listening back to recordings that the music is very hard to hear while I'm speaking. So I'm going to go quiet. So hopefully there you're able to hear a little bit of Priya's voice, as in my friend's voice. It's again very faint, but worth bearing in mind. The volume that I'm using over here is, I would say, low to medium volume, so enough for you to be comfortable without kind of bothering other people. Now I'm going to do the keyboard test. I'm going to type now. I'm going to do the very same test, but now speaking. So, hi there, how are you doing? This is Chris, and I'm testing the mic. So again, yet again, the omnidirectional one will potentially pick up more sounds than the unidirectional one does. But to prove that, we're going to switch to the unidirectional one straight away. So the switch has now been complete. I'm now on the unidirectional ModMic USB. It's quite a mouthful to say. So again, I'm going to play some music in the background so you guys can hear it. Again, same volume coming through the speakers in front of me or to the left of me. So that's how it sounds. I'm going to go quiet now. And now I'm going to do the keyboard, so I'm going to go quiet. And now I'm going to speak while I'm going to be typing. Hi there, how are you doing? This is Chris, and I'm doing a mic test. So that is the unidirectional USB microphone. So now we're back, and everything you can hear right now is coming from the ModMic Omni-directional 4.0, so the old school one, aka my old one, which had the which could filter under my keyboard. Now, I'd like to mention my own thoughts on the recording quality between the three microphones. Of course, you can be your own judge yourself, given the fact that I've given you quite an in-depth comparison between the three. However, in my own personal opinion, in terms of build quality wise, the ModMic Uni just doesn't feel as premium as the omnidirectional microphone or the USB variant of it. The unidirectional one has a very stiff stem. The mic mute part is really large, which doesn't seem to make any sense, and the cable is 2 meters long, which to me is too short for it to be used on a daily basis, or for it to be conveniently used. Add to all of that, the recording quality itself just sounds muffled. It doesn't sound as impressive as the omnidirectional one. I know that's pretty obvious given the fact that one's uni and one's omnidirectional, but the sound quality, or the recording quality should I say, of the omnidirectional one far surpasses the unidirectional microphone, at which point it's very much the same conclusion as I had when I reviewed the 4.0 omnidirectional one. If you can buy the omnidirectional one, just buy that one instead, because the unidirectional one just won't give you that same sort of sound quality. Then we move on to the ModMic USB. Now this is more expensive than the older variant and also than the unidirectional one, and sits in between the ModMic Wireless and the ModMic Uni. I do like this ModMic USB because, one, it means that it completely bypasses the audio processing done on your PC, and it does it itself with its built-in qualities, which means that you don't have to worry about an external device, and you can plug it anywhere you go and not have to worry about bringing a USB sound card or have to worry about poor audio quality. So I really like that, and the fact that you've got the switch between omni and unidirectional one means that it gives it greater functionalities as well over the unidirectional one or the omnidirectional one. As you might be aware, the omnidirectional one is going to give you better audio quality. However, for more positional cues, you might want to use a unidirectional mode. The fact that you've got that switch is really versatile. I'm not a big fan of the actual microphone itself. It's quite large. However, it's all kind of being petty over here in terms of like finicky in terms of the small things I dislike about it. But in terms of the actual design and build quality of it, I've pretty much no complaints. I know I told about the mic mute button, but there's no other way that could have potentially facilitated that. And the fact that you can actually see that that red color is on means that the mic is muted. So that is very useful to have. Again, very much like the ModMic Uni, the new one, versus the old Omni, I don't like the fact that it comes with a 2 meter long USB cable only. I would have liked a 3 meter long USB cable instead. I think you could potentially get a sort of extender, but I can't confirm that because I don't have an extender here for me to test, and in order for me to facilitate that test. So overall, I would say the unidirectional one, the new unidirectional one, is very much the same old as the 4.0 unidirectional one. It's slightly improved in certain variants, but then also not improved and kind of regressed back in terms of design. Whilst the USB microphone does offer something a little bit different and offers something great, however, it's got a short USB cable in comparison to the old one, and is also pretty expensive for a clip-on or an external microphone. So all of these things combined, I can say that I would recommend the ModMic USB. However, if you can find the omnidirectional 3.5mm jack one, I would tend to suggest that one instead, simply because, one, it's cheaper, more convenient in terms of routing around the PC, and for an additional £2 to £5 you can buy a USB sound card, which basically means that you are kind of having all these same functionalities. And again, based on the sound quality, I would never move it off the omnidirectional mode anyway. So, you know, your mileage may vary, but that's what I would do. But I feel that they could have improved these new line products. So hopefully next year we'll get an improvement, or not, I'm not sure. But yeah. Anyway, that's been my review. Thanks for Antline for sending these products out, and you know, keep up the great work, I guess, and hopefully improve the next product line that comes out. And again, this has been an unbiased, unpaid, independent review from myself. If you like that type of stuff and you want to see more of it, subscribe, like, favorite, and share, and comment if you have any opinions about the microphones. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Take care and bye-bye.